Good morning. It's Tuesday, July 30th. And yesterday I went to the doctor's to have a couple of stones removed from my bladder. And the procedure itself took about an hour. And my appointment was for 6 o'clock in the morning. So I had to get up at around 4:30 because I had to prepare and release the daily rant thing. So it started in the dark. And I got everything done before my son came and picked me up to take me to the doctor's office. And then, before the doctor saw me, I had to go through a rigorous physical examination and explanation of everything that I was doing. So while this procedure that I underwent was only going to take an hour, as I said before, the paperwork and the questions that I had to fill out and answer took me an hour and a half before they were ready. So actually, what was scheduled for 6 wasn't going to take place till 7:30. And then I went in at 7:30 sharp, and they put me under. And then I woke up at about 8:45 and found out that my stones had been removed, but that the wire, I call it a wire, but the tube had to remain in my kidney for another day to make sure that everything got cleaned out properly. And so this morning, I'm going to head over to the doctor's office about 9 o'clock, and I will see if everything is okay and I can proceed with the rest of my life. But I'm feeling very good. I'm happy that I went through this procedure. It was easy, and I met a lot of nice people at the hospital. The nurses were so friendly. The assistants were so friendly. It was an enjoyable experience. The only part that was a little disturbing when I think about it was when I woke up from the anesthesia, and then I couldn't get my head right because I couldn't figure out exactly where I was and what time of the day it was, and those things took a few minutes until my head cleared. So then I recognized the fact that when you are under sedation of some kind, your mind gets befuddled, vermished, as they say in Yiddish. And it took about 5 or 6 minutes for me to start thinking clearly and recognizing where I was and exactly what I had to do next. And so once I got all of that straightened out, everything fell into place. And I spoke to the nurses there and asked how long I had to stay. And they said about an hour or so till everything cleared up, and then that my son could take me home at that point. So all in all, a 6 o'clock appointment was actually about 4.5 hours at the hospital for a 1-hour procedure, and an hour and a half in paperwork, and an hour and a half in recovery time. But everything worked out fine, and I got home, and I'm feeling healthy and everything. So now I can go and tell you what's happening in the world today. So let me give you a quick rundown on where the presidential race in the United States stands right now. It's 99 days away, the election, and we had a historic month of political shakeups in the race because Kamala Harris is now the candidate of the Democratic Party. And while Biden's ratings were very bad, Harris has seen a tremendous rise in the favorability ratings. So the Democrats have gone from being way down to being almost dead even, with the polls showing multiple paths to victory for the Democrats. And that has to do with the fact that in swing states, they're tied. And they weren't tied when Biden was running. So that's good for the Democrats. It's a good thing, and I think it's a good thing for this country. Now, Trump responded to this situation in his usual manner, not with any logical explanation, not with any serious critique, not with a statement of true facts, but only with a series of personal attacks. He called Harris evil. Evil. He mocked the way she laughs, and he mocked the pronunciation of her name, and said that the American dream is dead if Harris wins in November. That's not the kind of candidacy that we should be looking at in this country. Let's have a fair fight. Let's put the facts on the table. Let us show who has done a good job and who hasn't done a good job. What are the points that the ex-president is trying to make? He didn't make any points. He attacked his opponents on her appearance, on her way she speaks. That is not what the criteria for president in this United States is. Now, Harris is a tough cookie. She didn't take that crap from Trump lying down. She pushed back on her opponent's wild lies and goaded him about debating her, because Trump had backed out of the debates the minute he found that Biden was gone. So Harris has pushed back on Trump's lie and teased him about debating her. So what is Trump going to do? He has shown us what he's capable of doing when he selected Ohio Senator J.D. Vance as his running mate. And Vance has come out with some of the most horrendous statements of all time. So there's rumors ahead that Trump may abandon Vance. And that has thrown the spotlight on Harris's actions in selecting a vice president to run with her. And I am telling you right now, as poorly as Trump does the job, Harris will have no problem beating him in the vice presidential candidate selection, because J.D. Vance is a joke, another black mark on the Trump's ledger. So I leave you at that this morning. A Trump ledger with many black marks, many question marks, a history of poor job done. How? Look, he's an old man. Think about that. Think about who would be in his spot when he goes. Have a great day. Bye.